Hello guys, my name is Channel. Today I'm going to review Django Unchained, my favorite of Quentin Tarantino's filmography. And not much to say, but maybe I'll do some more of these like Inglourious Basterds, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Also, got a Nolan review series coming soon, and then MCU stuff, and then Mission Impossible stuff, and then a Screen Movies ranks, why not? And yeah, so let's get started. Start out what this movie's about. This movie's about the slave Django gets freed by Christoph Waltz or Dr. Schultz, or Dr. King Schultz, who he wants him to help him find these Brittle brothers, this bounty, because, well, King Schultz, he's not actually a dentist, he's a bounty hunter, and because it's a large amount of money. And then after that, they get that whole thing done, and then they kind of go off working together for the spring, and then Django sort of becomes a bounty hunter himself and becomes good at it. And then if Django helps him during the spring, gives him a third of his earnings, he gets a third of Schultz's earnings, and then they go off to find his wife, who also is a slave. Now we have the guy. I think this movie is just so much fun. Right from the beginning, you just got a great opening scene where King Schultz is freeing Django, and just some fun dialogue between King Schultz and the Speck brothers, as they call in the movie.
Calm down. I'm simply a customer trying to conduct a transaction.
Last chance, fancy pants.
Oh, very well.
It's just such a fun way to open the movie. It's just a great way to kick it off. Not quite as good as the opening scene of Inglourious Basterds, where the French guy's getting interrogated, but what is. So yeah, this scene's great. And then you see obviously them kind of work together throughout all of this, and the banter between Schultz and Django is just so much fun, and both of them are great. This is probably my favorite role from Jamie Foxx, and this is probably my favorite or second favorite role from Christoph Waltz. It's either this or Bastards, and yeah, they're just both fantastic. They have great dialogue together, and overall, I just thought this is a great pairing of actors to go on this fun adventure overall. And you see them collect bounties. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. But you also have sort of like the love story in it, which kind of makes this movie kind of like a fairy tale in and of itself, sort of. And of Quentin Tarantino's three, I feel like they're called like film fantasies or something. This Bastards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This one's easily my favorite of all three. Here, this one's just great all throughout. I think it's not even one that I feel like gets better and better as it goes on. It's just great right from the beginning. It's just great until the end. And it's fairly long. It's almost 3 hours long, but I don't feel that. Like, I mean, if you tell me it's 2 hours, I don't know if I would agree with you. Like, I sort of feel like, especially when you're sitting in a hot room with some friends. But overall, I just thought it was a very well-handled movie. It's very well directed. The cinematography looks great. I think all the characters are a lot of fun. All their performances great. Christoph Waltz, I think, won the Oscar here for Best Supporting Actor, even though I feel like that should have gone to Leonardo DiCaprio, which, speaking of DiCaprio, this is one of his roles that's kind of interesting. It's not quite like the Tom Cruise Tropic Thunder.
Go fuck yourself.
Flaming Dragon, fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
But it doesn't feel like the usual Leonardo DiCaprio role. He's not this kind of character. He's kind of like greedy character, but he's not exactly like the despicable character. But here, he plays Calvin Candy very despicably amazing, and it's fantastic. You also get a character like Steven, played by Samuel Jackson, who's just crazy and just this horrible. I'm not sure if he's a slave or not. I don't know if he is, or he might be like or he might be like, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm 100% sure, I don't think he is, but he's just another one of these sort of despicable characters, and he's also great. He's kind of one that I feel like plays kind of a persona person, but here, he just plays one of the more front and center characters, and it's great. And you see Django kind of vouching for his wife, and then that leads to, you sort of see them they're kind of tied together, and that kind of leads to some very intense scenes, especially at the dinner table, where Calvin Candy's talking about the whole story with, what's his name? Old Randy. No, that's not right. You know what I'm talking about. The scene right before they have guns on them. Yeah, that scene's amazing. Obviously, as I said, Christoph Waltz as King Schultz is just he's just so fun. There's so many quirks and I guess fondness for this character. He's just such a likable guy in general. As this guy who hates slavery, wants to free all the slaves from Calvin Candy, and just sees Calvin Candy as this like just terrible person. I just think the way they wrote this character is just fantastic. It's perfectly done. Christoph Waltz just plays an amazing job here. It's just so fun here. Yeah, I think that I still think he's the standout, even though he won the Oscar, and some people argue DiCaprio. I wouldn't. I'd say he deserves it just a bit more. But they're both amazing in their roles, I would say. And Jamie Foxx's Django is just badass as hell. And yeah, this is some great casting here. All the characters are a lot of fun. You also got Walton Goggins as a smaller character here. He's also kind of fun. He's kind of an actor, I feel like, that plays some good roles, but he does a good job of roles, but he plays some somewhat forgettable characters. I feel like the guard he plays here is actually pretty memorable, I would say. At least my opinion. So overall, I think it has a great shootout at the end in the mansion. That's just all great. So it's classic Tarantino, and that's just what I want from this movie. You also got all of like the shootout scenes are all just great, bloody as hell, and there's kind of like a unique way I feel like the blood's in here where it's very like liquidy. I don't know if that's just me, but I notice it. I feel like most gunshot wounds tend to not be this violent, but it's fun as hell. And it's kind of like a thrill ride until the end. It's just a fun one here. There's nothing that really stayed as like a flaw here because overall the story's well done, the characters are well done, the actors play these characters amazingly, the directing and the cinematography is fantastic. Like all the action sequences thrown in there are great, and it's just an all around just great movie, and that's why it's just become one of my favorites over time. And this is a movie, even if you're not as much of a Tarantino fan, I think if I had to recommend any Tarantino movie to you, other than True Romance, even though he wrote that one, not directed it, I feel like this is the one I would recommend to most people if they want to see a Tarantino movie but can't quite get into them or just want to get introduced to Tarantino. This is the one I would recommend the most, I would say. For this movie's final score, I'm going to give it a 9.9 out of 10. The only reason why it's not 10 out of 10, it's not a movie I want to rewatch all the time, I guess. So there you go. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a fantastic movie, and that about does it. Like all the characters are great. It's just an all-around fantastic movie, and the score is kind of fun too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. Got more content coming soon with the MCU, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.